Welcome back. You're listening to Home Wizards. I'm Cindy Dole.
And I'm Eric Stromer.
And that song makes me kind of sad.
Well, and every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings, George Bailey.
I think about that too. I know. But we're trying to cheer you up, darn it, and get you ready for what the new year brings in terms of your garden, because you may still not think that you are a gardener. And that's okay. You may already think that you are, but you want to get better, and that's okay too. But we've explored and discovered some new trends that are out there that you're going to probably be, things are going to be wanting, things you're going to be seeing in the garden centers, and you may say, oh, I know why they're doing that. Eric and Cindy were talking about that.
Sure,
That's because
you're going to be ahead of the curve.
Yeah, you're going to be going, oh, that's what they're trying to do. I get it now. So one of the big trends, and some of these are not necessarily brand new trends, but they might just kind of be repackaged with a different phrase and a little bit of a spin. But for instance, one of the new trends, while we're kind of seeing more people interested in edible gardening and things like that, it's called well-being from the outside in. Have you heard about this?
No, tell me.
So apparently more and more of us are, we're looking at our health. I mean, you're a health nut.
Yeah.
Health is our top priority. And so people are turning, and even younger people, it's not just, middle-aged people and older people, but it's even like 18 to 30-year-olds that see gardening not just for the beauty of it, but to nourish our community, the environment, and our well-being.
Sure, and growing medicinal herbs, I would imagine, things that are good for you, things that can help your health. A knowledge of those kinds of things, I think, is really imperative to kind of look at as a trend showing up. And also folks that we haven't seen show up to the garden community in the past in quite as large numbers. Mm-hmm. Younger folks, like you say, and growing things to eat, food.
Yeah.
We're now seeing a lot of folks that are creating, if you have an apartment, for example, you can still grow small vegetables that can be put in salads and stuff.
Yes.
And, have these abundant harvests right in your own backyard.
Yeah. Like blueberry plants, for instance, or environmentally friendly and safe plants for pets. All these things are really like top of mind. And so whether it's trees and flowers, plants, birds and bees, also very popular, that we're thinking about, when we're out in the garden, when we're going to the garden center, we want the right kind of things that are not only just pretty, but are going to give us a feeling of wellness for us, for society, and for the planet, and also to be able to know that, hey, these plants are like our air filters. They're going to be, if it's an indoor plant, we talk about how it's going to help clean the air.
What's interesting? I see, in my kids, I have kids from 8 to 16, and, I remember when I was a little kid, you'd see a bee, and the first response was,
run.
Run! And now my kids are like, they have a beehive at their school. They actually make honey in this agricultural class that they can take, and bees are honored and cherished, and it becomes part of the environment. And the kids aren't scared of bugs. They understand that these are...
That's neat.
Isn't that great? It makes such a difference
bees
to me.
Really could care less. We're not talking about Africanized bees.
Yeah.
These are regular, bees, honeybees, that are helping to populate our garden.
That's right.
And nourish it and help us so that we can eat.
And the Bear Advanced Center for
they have a bee center.
They got a bee center.
And they're in North Carolina. They've got this amazing bee center. But so this year we're going to be seeing a lot more like grow gardens that will attract bees and also attract butterflies, because now that's not only going to show that our garden is healthier and now we're healthier, but long term we're helping the planet, So when you are thinking about going to the garden center and getting things, you might be seeing an actual little corner that's called the bee-friendly products.
Yeah.
Or these are the butterfly-friendly products, right?
Yeah. It's not so buried in the secret annals of, garden, like only professional folks know. Now it'll show up in big box stores.
Yeah.
It will be led there.
Yeah. Very like mass production, right?
Right.
And then another thing that we're going to be seeing that's very popular is pops of color. Now, we were talking about some of the color trends are like purple, this specific color, Marsala, as in the Marsala wine that you might cook with.
Right.
And so some of those really pops of color palettes ranging from almost vintage to muted rustic teal and pink. Those colors, the different manufacturers, or I should say growers of interesting flowers, like the hydrangeas that we have. We have that one from Burpee that's
Sure.
like three or four colors in one planting. Well, these guys and gals are giving us plants that speak to our desire for trending color palettes.
Right.
So look for this. You're going to be seeing the really interesting pops of color that are like vibrant, that go, ooh, isn't that kind of interesting?
That's right.
A blue flower? That's wow. That's
exactly
crazy.
Right. And you know what else is interesting? You know, half the United States are passing laws to legalize marijuana. So you're going to start seeing stores contributing to successfully growing marijuana because, you know, let's face it, it's showing up in terms of, it reminds me of Prohibition.
Mm-hmm.
Right before alcohol was made, you know, legal, all these folks that were criminals, considered people that were breaking the law, now are owners of huge multinational corporations. I think that that's going to happen with marijuana ultimately too, and you're starting to see this really show up in all these different gardens.
I mean, you'll all of a sudden be buying a flat of pot, apparently,
yeah, exactly.
to grow over.
That's right.
And then maybe your neighbor is going to be able to buy it from you or
There
something.
you go. Hey, Jimmy. Oh, yeah.
Well, and outdoor living has always been a big, huge trend, but now it's just kind of, they've tweaked the term, and it's, the buzzword is garden-tainment. And the reason is that, you know, like just your yard and our backyard area that's really kind of by a pool, it's all about our trellis and our succulents, that the plantings, the live plants become our artwork.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, and
Yeah.
so you might even have, as you bring your party outside, and the demand for outdoor plants is expected to grow like by 7 billion in the upcoming year. Watch for this term, garden-tainment, as we, you know, might turn, we've talked about this, turning a coffee table into, you know, cutting out the center, and it's now a planter for succulents.
That's exactly right.
You know, you really
Yeah.
feel like you're getting away from your iPhone and all your devices, and you feel you're just surrounded by plants.
Yeah, and then the other thing too, the neighborhood is becoming the new agri-hood.
Yeah.
You know, so now, I mean, remember you would see people with, oh, those poor people have chickens in their front yard.
How crazy.
They're like country bumpkins. Well, guess what? It's now hip to have chicken coops and raise little miniaturized, you know, little goats and all sorts of things where you can actually make your own cheese. And I mean, it's becoming a part of a way of life again. It's
We're going
so funny
European.
and ironic. We're going backwards.
I
right?
know. And it turns out that a lot of community associations are now having to go with it because individuals are rebelling against the ordinances that might have prohibited it.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
So
yeah,
now
the
it's-
zoning, I think, is being challenged, right? It's interesting.
Because people, like, they just need to, for economic reasons, but also social and spiritual reasons,
Right.
want to grow these things.
And by the way, there's nothing better to turn your soil than grazing animals. That's the irony. I mean, it's the way it works.
Now, I
right?
didn't get the llamas that I wanted for
No,
Christmas.
I didn't either.
Or the ponies.
And I'm thinking about potbelly pigs. Lots of them.
Oh, I'd love them too.
That'd
They're
be
so
great.
cute. They live a long time, by the way.
Oh, boy.
Another trend you're going to see, I mean, again, this is something that's not completely new. We've heard about drought-tolerant meadows, but now the new buzzword is bedhead, meaning purposely growing spaces that aren't tidy. It has this kind of messy,
wild look to it.
Wild, but it looks like it's something out of a meadow, you
Sure.
know, and how that the effortless is going to be very stylish. So when you're thinking about maybe changing how your garden looks and feels, it's okay to go there.
Right, curvy lines, not so straight and organized.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
how it looks in nature. Ooh, gee, that's a strange concept.
I know. Wow. Anyway, these are the trends. So just, you know, you're on the cutting edge, baby, because you've caught it here, right here on Home Wizards. Thanks for hanging out with us, and hope you have a great new year. You can always check out all the stuff at yourhomewizards.com. Any parting words for the new year, Eric Stormer?
Happy New Year, guys, and we sure are grateful that you're tuning in, and have a great New Year.
All right. Eric Stormer, Cindy Dole. Until next time, the key is under the mat. Bye-bye.
Flowers in the vase that you bought.